What's up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watch Our Realms video, and I gotta say, I'm super excited. I'm like Christmas Eve when you're a little kid excited right now. I am a 39-year-old man who cannot wait for Friday morning because Friday morning is summoning morning, and tomorrow, my favorite hero in the game, Hatssut, is going to be on this banner. I am super stoked about it. I don't even need her, honestly. I've got her on my account. I don't need copies of her. Her awakenings are not that great until you get to A5. So, something to consider. If you have her on your account, maybe it makes sense not to pull. That's not going to be me. Because aside from Hatssut, you also got Artemis on this banner, who is a really unique hero who I don't know the specifics of Gear Raid 4, but I have heard that he is phenomenal in Gear Raid 4. He does work there, apparently. I think he's just really unique. He is a healer who can also do damage, and he also brings anti-healing, which are just some amazing traits that are going to really help you out in a lot of different areas. I've heard that he can solo Gear Raid 120 without he can be the healer and the DPS in that raid. You don't have to bring anybody else. He can basically solo the entire thing. If you're struggling on Gear Raid 1, and truth be told, in my opinion, Gear Raid 1 is the highest gear threshold. It's the highest kind of like roadblock in the game right now. If you don't have any good AoE damage dealers, in particular any AoE mages, then you are going to struggle in there mightily. And I know that firsthand because I actually have a free-to-play account on the Forerunner server that I started about a month and a half ago, and I'm progressing everywhere but in Gear Raid 1. It's because I don't have a Comet or a Boreas or any of these. Really, I don't even have a Zealous. I mean, shit. I'm trying to struggle through with Greed, and that is just not working for me. But Artemis, on the other hand, Artemis can solo it by himself. He can do it by himself. He's like a one-man show. Looks amazing. Let's take a look at him. I mean, look, he's just so cool. And he does some really, really interesting things. I am going to put out a separate video where I just kind of go through Artemis' skills, but suffice it to say, he's really unique, and he is somebody that you're going to want on your account. I think not just for the content that's in the game right now, but Gear Raid 4 is on the Forerunner server. He is supposed to be an MVP in that content, so you're going to want him for that. But I'm more excited about the hero that's already in the game. I'm more excited about Hatssut. She is my favorite hero in the game. I did pull her relatively early. I think she was like my 7th or 8th summon in the game, and she carried me everywhere. And I'm talking about everywhere. She is, in my opinion, the best progression champion in the game. I still have her in my Gear Raid 221 team. She is a core piece of my Gear Raid 321 team. She is in my Anti-Air Arena team. She's really fantastic there. And unless you're pushing for Apex Overlord, she is relevant in every single piece of the arena. With maybe the exception of single target. She's not amazing at single target. She's still good, but she's not amazing at single target. So that's the only disclaimer I'd have. But I mean, even moving past that, I was able to clear Nightmare Void Rift when the game was still suggesting that I should be doing Elite Void Rift, the 2nd difficulty level. I was able to do the 4th and highest difficulty level in Void Rift as a result of having Hatssut. I mean, there were some other supporting champions as well. Obviously, I did have Hex. I didn't get Silas until after I'd already beaten Nightmare, so I love Silas, and I think a lot of people would say that he is the best hero in the game, but I just disagree. I flat out disagree, and I think that the people that are saying otherwise, they don't have Hatssut, or they didn't get Hatssut until late in the game, so they never had to use her extensively. She is just so versatile. She does so much damage, and it's all due to, let's take a look at this ultimate that she has here. So, deals damage up to 5 enemies nearby, dealing 180%, AoE damage every 0.3 seconds, lasting for 3 seconds. So, she is going to, when skilled up, this cost is going to go down to 700, so it's a very low cost. She is going to get another 50% damage per hit. So that's going to be 230% damage every 0.3 seconds. And then the duration is actually going to go up to 4 seconds. And if you are lucky enough to get her up to A5, you get another 1 second on there. So it's 5 seconds. I'm not doing the math in my head right now, but we're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000% damage to up to 5 targets in 5 seconds. When she is fully awakened, it's more like, I think, 3,200 or so when she is A1 through, or A0 through A4, but she is fully skilled up. It's bonkers damage. It's AoE damage that is so strong that it can be used as single target damage essentially. So She's not going to be a guild boss hero for you, although I was able to get over 30k blood with her on my team, so she's not bad there. She's just not going to be a big piece of that. I think that if you're forward thinking, this is somebody that when they do introduce new content is likely going to be a kind of a cheat code for a lot of stuff. That's my perspective. I think in this game, there are probably maybe like 10 or so heroes that are kind of head and shoulders above the rest. And Hatssut is, in my opinion, she's the best hero in the game. I think there's a lot of people who disagree with that. I think there are better heroes at specific tasks than Hatssut, but Hatssut is the most versatile hero in the game, in my opinion. Maybe so it depends on how you define best, right? But she's my MVP. I love her. She's got a special place in my heart. I love my Hatssut so much. That's my Hatssut. Anyway, I think you should summon on this banner. I don't care where you are in the game. I don't care where you are in your Mercy. I don't care how many shards you have, whether or not you have enough to ensure that you're going to hit the Lego. It is worth a shot. The reason being, so normally we get a 10x banner, and we found out recently, shout out to Fastidious, thank you so much for all the work that you've done, all of the rates that you've been able to provide to us. They've really been added kind of like an extra layer of insight into our decision-making process when we're deciding whether or not we want to summon on any particular banner. But one of the things that we have found out, or that he has found out, I should say, is that Hatssut is actually, or was, in a bucket of her own as far as her rarity. She was actually rarer than a lot of the legendary lords in the game, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Boreas is now at the same level as Hatssut. Before they decided they were going to nerf him, they decided to reduce his drop rate into oblivion so that nobody could get him practically. So here's my reasoning, though. So on a normal banner, you are getting a rate. You're essentially, 10 times is kind of just a marketing thing. They're not actually giving you 10 times rates. What they're doing is they're adjusting the chance to pull the hero to 10 times what the kind of the base rate is for any hero in the game. If you were just to divide the pool, the odds of pulling any one hero is, I guess, they figured out it's like 1.8% approximately. So a 10x banner is going to bump up the odds of pulling the hero to between 18 and 19%. Hatssut's pull chance is, I think, somewhere around 0.8%. So we're talking about like a 30 times essentially for Hatssut right now. There's a good chance that if you don't get her on this banner, that if you just went on pulling on, say, like 2x banners and things like that, that you would never get her in this game. I mean, it's a good shot. Think about all the legendary lords that you don't have. Hatssut's rarer than a lot of those guys. So this is going to be your opportunity to get her. I think that if you are serious about playing this game long term, she is somebody that you're going to want in your account. She is just a massive piece of utility that you can add to your account that's going to really enable you in a lot of different content. She's going to open up a lot of different things for you if you haven't completed everything in the game. And if you have completed everything in the game, right now, what are you waiting for, though? I mean, this is somebody that you can use to push uncapped content like Arena. She's somebody that is really useful in a lot of areas in the game, and like I said, is going to be useful moving forward. So I would pull for her. Similarly, Artemis, I think, is another kind of forward-thinking hero. Even if you have beaten Gear Raid 121 already, if you haven't, you definitely want to be pulling for him because anti-healing is one of his calling cards, and that is something that is few and far between in this game. I can think you've got Boreas, but ultra rare, like I was just talking about. You've also got Zealous. When he uses his artifact, he has anti-healing, but it's only like 50%, I think, in a rank 25 artifact, which is just. And then you've also got who am I thinking of? Lasir. Lasir is another option, but he kind of sucks as a hero, so you don't really want to bring him. And then and everybody's favorite, Kriya. Kriya has it on her A1, so you don't just need to pull Kriya, you need to pull Kriya twice, which is, cause for tears to begin with, but she has this really underwhelming anti-healing that only pops up when you have already killed other things. So it doesn't work all that well. I have tried to utilize it in a few of the kind of more creative comps that I've tried to come up with for Gear Raid 1. It's not something you want to pursue. So if you don't have an anti-healer on your team, really, if you don't have Boreas on your team, then you straight up need Artemis. and that's going to be, again, forward thinking for Gear Raid 4, things like that when that does come out. So that is something that I don't care. Again, if you're early game, I know a lot of folks are going to say you're probably better off just accumulating heroes and summoning on the 2x. No, not in this case. Not in this case, because if you summon this one hero, if you summon, really either one of them, I think, but more than anything, if you summon Hatssut, she's going to carry you through the end game. Plain and simple. And there are so many bad legendaries in this game that are not difference makers that if you have the opportunity to get an ultra rare hero at an incredibly boosted rate, I think you got to take it. That's my advice to you. As far as the epics that are on the banner, Olog is phenomenal, and he is super rare to pull. Mine is A5 now. I use some Epic Soul Stones on him. I think that is certainly a good use of the Epic Soul Stones. But if you haven't done that already, this is a great opportunity to get some Awakenings on him. His Awakenings are not phenomenal. We can take a look at them real quick, but they're nothing special. Increases the strength of the shield, gained by 10%. That's actually, I think, is the best one, honestly. So that one is really important. 100 defense, who cares? Defense is not a big deal in this game. You want to get some, and that's going to bump your base defense up a little bit, but it's like maybe 5%, I think. I don't know what his base defense is, but let's see. Hero details, max level. Base defense is, 3229, so it's less than 5%. Significantly less than 5%. It's more like 3%, I think. So 100 defense on the A2, 1200 HP on the A3, which is kind of a weird A3, honestly. Usually you get some kind of effect or skill enhancement on the A3, but HP is probably going to be more impactful than a lot of the skill enhancements you might get anyway. So another 1200 to his base HP is nice. All damage reductions plus 5%. That is very nice and self-explanatory. And then finally, when the ultimate is triggered, grants physical damage reduction of the same duration to adjacent allies. Maybe there's some content in the game where this might be useful. I think maybe you might want to use it in Gear Raid 2 if you're trying to do a comp where you're not using the Volca like recall strategy. That might be useful there. But truth be told, most of the time you don't want to use his ultimate anyway, because when you use the ultimate, he doesn't actually generate the shield, which is kind of weird to begin with, but I won't go into that design decision. That doesn't seem like it's going to be a fruitful discussion. So, in any case, I feel like I'm rambling on here. It's because I'm so excited. Hatssut is incredible. You should summon for her. I don't care what stage in the game you are. I have 40 summons on my free-to-play account. I need a lot of legendaries. I'm going to be summoning for Hatssut. I'd love to get Artemis there too. Artemis would probably help me out in the area I'm struggling most in Gear Raid 1, but I don't care. Give me that Hatssut. That's what I want. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this. If you did like the content, I do appreciate you watching, but I would even more appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if you'd like to hit that notification bell, that would be awesome too. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. If you're pulling this weekend, I am going to be putting up my polls tomorrow after I do them. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Good luck tomorrow.